Motivation, it got you started, but it's also why you keep quitting. Let me show you what actually works. Good day to you all, and welcome to Bad Day Excellence, the show where we take those messy, chaotic, real parts of life and turn them into fuel for growth. I'm Brian Walsh, author of Habitcraft 101, and a guy who's trying to help 9.5 million people over the next 15 years build a life filled of fulfillment and pride, not regret. Last Friday was National Quitters Day. I hate it. I hate this day of the year, almost as much as I hate daylight savings. But I don't hate it for me. I hate it for every single person who wanted to make changes in their lives. But they went so hard that they decided that this is not worth the effort because they don't see the results in the first 2 weeks of the year. So many of us are stuck believing that there are so many people that have all of it together and with almost little to no effort. This is why I hate social media and all the gurus that show you the hacks and the shortcuts to get rich quick, or incredibly simple workouts that you could do in 30 days to get chiseled abs. BS. Stop listening to this crap. The mindset, Bad Day Excellence, it was born because of one simple truth. Motivation, it will only get you to your first bad day. I'll be the first to admit that I've been energized by a rousing speech and a flurry of social, success result videos. But when the rubber hits the road, it's consistency that wins over intensity. As human beings, we are terrible at estimating the amount of energy and effort we will need to put into something to see the desired results. And then add in the blind spot we have, especially when it comes to after we get there, we forget to understand that there's a maintenance phase that we have to maintain. This is why I try to refocus on identity first and then build the microsystems that align with that identity. This is why I have a 15-year goal to help 9.5 million people. I can't do that right now. When we hear an inspiring story, we can't help but put ourselves into the narrator's shoes. There's actually science behind all of this. It shows that when someone is telling a story, a group of people, the listeners, their brain waves begin to sync up with the storyteller. That energy transfer is then inside of you, pushing you to do something, that you believe you can do. So you go out, you join a gym, or you buy all the gadgets you need to become the next viral social media star. You clear your calendar and you have this plan and you're ready to hit it hard. Guess what? You make progress. You're doing the dang thing. And I'm proud of you for this because it takes 90% of all of your effort just to get out of the atmosphere and start. But then life hits you. You or your kid gets sick. You finally did leg day, and you know exactly why everyone dreads it. Work gives you an impossible deadline, and you need time to decompress from all that hard work, so you decide to veg out on the couch on social media. This external motivation that pushes you into action begins to crack, and it's a huge problem. External motivation is weak because it's based on someone else's why. So let's break the cycle. Let's build some momentum and walk towards results we can be proud of. First, I want you to set an intentional identity. Who is the person you're moving towards? What are their habits? What does their perfect day look like? When you are under pressure or have a really crappy day, what do they do that still feels true to them? Once you have these answered, I want you to shift from they to I. I have good habits that keep me healthy. My perfect day looks like X. When I'm under pressure, I take a step back, acknowledge the feelings, and then choose how I want to move forward. This shift already helps you to bulletproof your bad days. All right, next step is to follow this momentum framework. Small wins, stack progress, unstoppable force. As easy as pie. I'm just kidding. Really, what I'm saying is you need to start small. Remember, consistency, not intensity. When you start small and compound those wins over time, you almost don't see the progress, but it's there. You're so focused on the consistency that the brain doesn't see the change. And that's the point. Change is hard. Our brains are not exactly wired for the unknown change, at least the big change, the earthquake identity shifts. Another benefit of starting small is that you don't rely on feeling good to execute. Your actions need to be so tiny that you'd have to be dead in order to not follow through. I used to run a Biggest Loser competition for one of the companies I worked for. For so many years, almost everyone would drop out by week 3 or 4. It wasn't until I flipped the whole competition on its head that I get over 80% of the people to weigh in on week 21. That's right, 21 weeks that everyone was dedicated to this mission. But what did I actually change? Well, first of all, I had them write a goal statement on the back of like a little business card, actually more like a loyalty card. But they couldn't write a number. They had to write a feeling or an accomplishment. I remember one person wrote, "I want to fit my wedding dress again." This was a huge internal motivator that felt personal and helped them push through those tough weeks. On the other side of the card were 5 punches. And basically what it said was if they weighed in for 5 straight weeks, they would win $5. If they missed, they would then be given a brand new card and have to rewrite their goal, reminding them, and then begin the hole punch process again. This rewarded the consistency and helped reinforce their why. Each week, people were much more energized. And when they gained, they still felt like they were progressing. I think we ended up losing altogether something like over 500 pounds. Now, granted, we did have a good number of people. I think it was like 20 or 30 people. So it was feasible, but some lost a lot, some lost a little, but we all kept moving forward. So by stacking your small wins, you'll build the momentum needed to become unstoppable. So for this week's challenge, I want you to share with me one area where motivation keeps failing you. Send me a DM or comment below. Together, we can break your goal down into the next aligned step towards the person I know you can become. If you want to really become unstoppable at home and at work, I actually want to invite you to join the Momentum Makers Club. I'll leave a link in the show notes. It will walk you through the exact system to build momentum that doesn't depend on how you feel. And what's actually nice is that it's a one-time fee that will give you lifetime access to all of the course materials and a community that understands what it takes to keep moving forward. I'm Brian Walsh, your guide to habit crafting and your biggest champion. Thanks for tuning in to Bad Day Excellence. See you next time.